How's everybody doing out there? Sun's coming out soon, I was told. This is my wife, Kelly, okay? And these are my sons, Tyler and Bradley. Part of our crew, crazy crew. That's right.
So Rick, welcome to New England. You told me that you've been here before.
I've been to Boston. That was the only place up here we've been. I have not been to Springfield at all.
Well, welcome to the real New England.
Yeah. This fair is amazing. It's gigantic. I can't wait to walk around and check it out. Third best. That's the deal.
And in my line of work, I see old time stuff all the time, and absolutely you do too, right?
Yeah. I mean, when I started back, 32 years ago, all I did was Coke machines, coin-op stuff, some gas pumps, and when the show came out, ended up doing one of everything. We've done about 130 episodes, and we did 3 pieces per episode, so you can imagine each piece needed to be different. And people would bring in parts of their heritage, their family, their memorabilia, and they bring it in all nasty, and then we'd restore it. So the thing that I love about the show the best is the emotions that it gives everybody to see something that was, dying in their family, and then to bring it back to life, and the tears of joy that I would get after I revealed it. And I really, really enjoy that. I love what I do, and I think our family has learned a lot from doing all these pieces.
You got the next generation going now, right?
Yeah, and that was the big thing with me, because not too many people did what we do, and then being able to restore all these different things.
Welcome to C5A's here, folks.
Oh yeah.
The Westover Air Force Base, everybody.
Good God, that thing doesn't look like it's going fast enough to stay in the air.
It's going about 30 miles an hour right now. We're not going to bring that for you to work on today.
The show's allowed me to do stuff like that, bigger than life. We've done some trains, we've done planes, Air Force stuff, and we're big supporters of our veterans, and we've done so much stuff. I can't wait to do a tank. That's my biggest thing.
And you talk about the emotions, and we talk about that in the museum business, that it's context. An old piece of something out of context is just a rusty old piece of something.
Yes.
It's stories.
Yeah, and when it gets put in, that's another thing that we've done a lot of, is for stuff for museums, and the pride that it brings us to be able to do those pieces. Curators actually taking care of this stuff, and it's lasting for years and years and years, so our kids can see what it was like.
Absolutely, like it was like when it was brand new, not just a rusty brown thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you have like a favorite story? Like you're talking about the emotion that you get from people. Is there one that really you wake up in the middle of the night and think of that one?
The show started. I did stuff for Rick Harrison with the pawn shop, and Rick has not much emotion. Believe me, he's all about the dollar.
It's dollars and cents.
He's dollars and cents. And a guy named Big Mike, he was from Ohio, came in, and he had a little riding tractor that his father. He brought in a picture of it.
I remember this.
He was riding with it, as a kid, and it was literally on a pallet. It was in a million pieces. It was probably one of the first projects when I looked at it and went, oh my God, never even seen one. It was Midwest, equipment, never seen it in the West Coast. And we're restoring it. We finally get it done, but it won't run right before the shoot, right before Mike's there, his family's out there. Actually, at that time, it was just him there. And so we finally get it running. We pull it out of our garage. I'm driving it out of the garage, and Mike's face was like he just was crying right then and there.
And Mike's a little guy too.
And Mike is a 6'7" giant. And I remember walking up, not expecting anything, but say, "Hey, awesome, thanks." He's crying. The guy jerks me up and I'm at 200 pounds. He jerks me up like nothing. He's carrying me around, jumping around all happy. That's one of the ones that I definitely dream about.
That makes it worthwhile. Now, did you ever hear any stories about somebody turning around and selling one of your pieces for some big money?
Yes, lately actually. Yeah, that through the years, when I'd restore stuff, it was basically I'd restore it and I'd sell it. That was it. Or
it's a business. We're just
it's just a
about
business, and that during the show it became something where I really enjoyed restoring somebody else's memorabilia, and they keep it or put it in a museum.
Right.
So about a year ago, we restored a Lotus, a 1977 Lotus that was in the movie The Spy Who Loved Me, a James Bond movie. It's the one that went in the water, and there was only 4 of them that were on the film set, and one of these was a prop. Each one did different things. One actually ran in the water, one was used where the cameraman just did the stuff on the side. This one was one that was actually filmed from the inside, so it held all the levers and everything. So it's one of 4. He actually, I think, sold it or bought the one that would actually work, totally work in water, everything, and he sold it for $1 million, right? So we're restoring it. We charge them like what we restore for a car. It was just trash. We made it with all the propellers and the fins. And
the fins that moved?
Yeah, the fins all moved, and they all moved from the inside like they originally would have. So we restored it, and we didn't charge them that much to restore it. Then we find it on eBay for $1.5 million. So yeah, those, quite honestly.
And you did not bid on it.
Yeah, we did not bid that job. Right. Kelly kept warning me, and the first thing he says to me is he's shaking my hand. How's it feel to shake a billionaire's hand? Well, I'm like, well, it feels just like you guys. Don't matter.
Now, you guys didn't bring your instruments, right? These aren't for you up here? No.
Bradley can play. Bradley definitely can play. He can sing too. Tyler just knows how to run a blowtorch.
They got a zip today. You're very quiet today.
Yeah, you got mics in your hand. What do you got? How do you like Springfield, brother?
Where's the best to get food? What should I get?
The fried one.
Giant meatballs sound good.
Turducken sandwich is not bad.
There we go.
They went out last night. We got in about 11, and they both went out. We came home. Kelly, being the mother, says, make sure you go to bed.
But it was really only 4 o'clock your time.
Yeah,
come on.
Yeah. So they stayed out I called them up at 9 or 10, and they stayed out till 2:30 or something. Yeah.
2:30?
Yeah.
How old are you guys getting here? 2:30 is not that late.
Yeah, it is late for me. I go to bed at 7:30.
Well, I know we had a contest online for people to submit stuff for you folks to look at, and if you're okay, can we bring some of that out here?
Yeah, I think that's great.
Dennis, can you bring your piece out? It was really hard to select. A lot of people did submit a number of things in all different states of disrepair, shall we say. And these are the ones that we thought folks might be interested in from this area.
Can I call my mom?
Yeah, let's make the noise at least.
Yeah.
This is not your cell phone, Pete.
Yeah.
Does that have a camera on it or no?
Yeah. This is an old, an old telephone. Alexander Bell basically invented the telephone. And what happened was there's a bunch of companies that started manufacturing parts. One was Western Electric, and they had certain suppliers. If I remember, this was a Kellogg. Yeah, this is a Kellogg, manufactured by Kellogg. The parts on it, right? So you got to think about the monopoly that was going on back in these days. What happened was they were brutal. They were a huge competition, and they would fight back and forth because they wanted to be millionaires like everybody else, right? So this phone is how we actually communicated, and this probably would have been not everybody had a phone, like everybody's got a cell phone today. And they basically would go into a system that Kellogg designed, to where it's actually an operating system where the person would, pull out the little lever, and that's how you got to communicate with the other person wherever it was. Long distance was sort of wasn't there yet.
Long distance is 2 towns away.
Yeah, long distance.
By horse,
right?
Yeah.
So
what? For those that are a little further back, what kind of materials do we have here?
So this thing's good stuff. This is oak, made out of oak. You can see the craftsmanship. when they put
Probably
stuff-
American oak too.
Yeah, probably American oak. They, they dovetailed everything. Everything was done very well. The earpiece probably made out of Bakelite. You can basically see it's got a little, receiver inside there, just by vibrations. I mean, it's amazing for this guy. If you think about it, back in I think it was in 1897, right in there, that they were doing these phones. That's when this probably is from.
Right in that time period. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, this is a little later version. But
okay, so what happened with Kellogg? And he ended up basically, he was the manager for Western, and then he ended up opening his own company because he wanted to run the business. About 1901, he died, and his brother-in-law ended up taking over the business, and he sold it back to Western. And it was like a heart crusher for this. I guarantee he's rolling over in his grave right now. So that's what this is.
But, we joke a little about the technology, but whether it's a vibrating diaphragm or a vibrating diode, it's still based. It's same thing.
Same thing. They've taken.
We laugh at these dinosaurs, but
no, that's what they took this technology, and that's what we use today. Still, they've just bettered it in different ways. They made the chips smaller and stuff that you can actually fit in your pocket. And the cool thing is when cell phones came out, I had one. It was a brick. It was a big, tall one, about that big, and you couldn't really stick it in your pocket. Even before that, I had one you carried around, and had a big, huge battery in it. How cool was it when I'm driving around?
The attaché ones.
Yeah. And you'd call up somebody. It's pretty cool. You can do it from your car.
I'm standing on the road, man.
And this stuff has happened within the last 20 years. It's amazing, how far technology's gone. I think one of the I love old stuff and everything. I sort of badmouth technology every once in a while, but without it, we really wouldn't be where we are today. And there's good and bad about it.
Yeah.
It just depends on how we use it as people, as Americans.
And there was probably some parent at home saying, "You're hanging around that oak box way too much, Jared."
You're staying up too late, calling your friends.
Now, you said that, you like old stuff, and I want to get the other things out of here, but something that you shared a minute ago before we came on, you like the old stuff a lot, but the business end of this operation is run by
Kelly, and I'll admit that right now, because I had a little tough time about maybe 6-7 years ago, and I would basically, you'd come up to me with something and I'd have a price, a set price, and that was it. I don't care how it took 6 years to restore or 1 day. And Kelly straightened me out because I was not making any money.
You were paying yourself a nickel an hour.
Yeah, and it was a business, and I was just, I was just surviving.
You were an artist.
Yeah, that's right, and that's what she always said to me. That's like, you stay with the work, I'll help you on the business, and that's what's kept us going, And if any corporation, any kind of a company, any kind of a business, mom and pop, be it, you have to at least prosper enough to where you can, keep going and succeed. So I'm blessed with Kelly, of course, because she's straight.
You want to add to this, or? Yeah, there you go. Turn it over to her. Yeah.
She's not shy.
Rick's magic number back when was $2,500 for everything. It wound up costing us $5,000, but he still wanted to charge $2,500. And so basically, we decided that we had to start job costing everything so I could show him how much he's losing. And now it's a struggle when things come in like this. We both look at it. He has his price, I have my price.
2,500.
Yeah, that's 2,500 still. But it's definitely a team effort. Everybody comes in, they say what they think the time will cost, the materials, everything, and it's a group effort for sure.
So on the show, when you say we need to go to the office to sign some papers, that's what's really going on, right?
Yeah, that's where we go.
So how about on this piece? What do you think? What would you guesstimate? Seriously, not $2,500.
No.
This is a $6,000 job here at least.
I'm going to be low because that's what I am. But it's got the metal is not brass. These were actually steel on these bells right here. The same with the back of the mouthpiece. And they've been plated in a way. You can tell back then either nickel plating or zinc plating or cad plating in the day. the stuff wasn't as good and it didn't stick as well to the metal. Keep in mind the thing's over 100 years old, so and it's in great condition, to be quite honest. And the thing that I like doing to each piece is to make the insides work. That's a big thing with me.
Right.
Every single piece inside there would come apart, get polished, cleaned, and physically work. And that was always the thing that I never stuck into my price. Making something beautiful is right where my price would be.
Make it pretty hanging on the wall doesn't make it what it was.
Yeah,
right.
And so then when I get to the inside, then I'm tediously going to work on the inside, and that's where I would throw away my money.
Now you said on this one there's something missing in there, right? On the inside?
Yeah, the inside.
So what do you do when you run across a situation like that?
This is missing.
Do you have these out in the boneyard?
No, this wouldn't last in our boneyard more than a couple of days. It's wood. This is missing a battery in the bottom, and it's the kind of thing that you're not gonna find a battery for this that is going to work. So you're gonna have to take something old. You're gonna have to take something new and make it look old to make it function. So when you have to build parts, you have to make it look like it's supposed to be there. Is that another same kind of plane?
They're waving to you.
This is just like the show. Hold for the helicopter.
Yeah. Sorry, we have to do that again. Okay, same positions, continuity. You had your hand
like
over
continuity,
there.
Yeah. So you basically got to tell the customer that we're going to make it look like it did. It's going to be beautiful. The wood will look like it did back in the day. The metal will all look like it did back in the day. The insides are going to be polished out to where you would buy that would have been brand new back in the early 1900s. The cores, there's kind of stuff that it's nice because a lot of guys reproduce stuff that you can't get anymore. There's still guys out there that will take the time to find the manufacturer to get the exact right cotton that cover the cord.
Yeah, this is a cloth covered wire.
And these are things that really take place in the restoration. Like even the screws, every screw on it that comes off, you have to repaint it in the way that it was. You can't put a Phillips screw where there was slotted screws.
Sometimes inventories are done on these things when they're taking them.
That's a fact. That's a big thing with me is when you tear something apart, you got to take pictures, you got to write stuff down. A lot of people take stuff apart. They forget that 2 weeks later.
Who's in charge of that now?
Both these two definitely have had their lesson. I don't know who's in charge.
Anyway, yeah.
So this thing restored, I don't know, where are we at?
20. No.
Want me to tell you where I'm at? I'm about 1,800.
Well, I'm at about 1,500 since we're at the Big E Fair.
One of the things.
I'll take the 25 you offered earlier.
One of the things that I'm noticing on it's got a button on the side. Now let me open it. I just want to know what that button's for. I've never seen one with a button on it. So,
for the first time live on the Eastern States stage.
Oh, it goes to the back.
Oh, that was a coin, I think. That's just a no.
Yeah, I can see the battery holder, but that button is wired like to a main line. All right. So I'm still at 18. What?
It's always plus missing and broken parts. Restoration price.
One of the things on the East Coast, I just think, I don't know, different places are different. They throw stuff away, or they'll set them out in in a barn, and if you've got the weather going on, they get ruined really bad. This thing is not so ruined that you can't restore it. I mean, some stuff gets pretty gnarly to where you're really, really working hard at it, and it costs so much more. One of the things I noticed is I've got like 20 guys working for me now, and each one started with absolutely nothing. They didn't know anything when they came to the shop, so we teach them to work on stuff, and they all have better, more higher qualified guys like Ted. I mean, those guys are phenomenal.
Yeah,
And
the painter and pinstriper.
yeah, each
absolutely.
guy does a different task,
Yeah.
and it relieves me from doing the whole thing at once, and not, you know, there's guys that are better than me. You know?
Now, you know, we talk about East Coast versus West Coast. I got a friend that moved out to Santa Barbara, and she comes back here and goes and picks up stuff on curbside that we're throwing away. Because in Santa Barbara, you know, she owns the oldest house. It's 1932 or whatever.
Yeah.
We don't care about that stuff here. You know, 1732 maybe.
Yes,
but,
yeah, different gig,
different
West
attitude.
Coast, yes,
you know.
yeah. So, yeah, thank you
thanks.
very much. It's a beautiful piece.
And I've got
That's a piece of history.
I've got another little piece here. I actually got to see a photograph of this in action by the original owner when he was about 5 years old, peddling newspapers.
Has anybody seen one of these before? Right? And
Anybody work the gates out here?
How many have used these? You've used them. Okay, the people that have used them, what did you do when you used them? What was your occupation? A what? Fair? At a fair they use these? And why did you have one of these? Because you didn't have a cash register. That's right. Because you can't very well, believe me, we've had cash registers that are 2,000 pounds. You know, they're huge, right? Even the little ones are, you know, 300 pounds. It'd be pretty hard carrying that cash register around in your belt while you were trying to sell something. Newspaper Boys was another one that had a lot of these. And this is literally a cash machine.
Right, yeah.
I mean, it's the ATM of the past.
And on this too, like when you're using a modern keyboard, you didn't have to look at this while
No,
you're working on it.
you knew right where the stuff
yeah,
was.
right.
You knew right where the dimes, nickels,
I
quarters
mean,
were.
this isn't something that you would give an 18-year-old today and expect them to know how to run.
No,
This is weird technology.
Yeah, you know, I think that's another awesome thing. We would take old Coke machines to fairs, and we would try to sell them. And you get the younger kids looking at an old Coke machine, and compared to the new stuff, and they always wanted to know what that little round thing was where you stick the bottle in. Why would you stick your bottle in there when I could just open the bottle? You know, they don't know what a bottle opener even looked like. So
What do you think about the condition on this?
this is in great shape. It's got I mean, it's made out of tin, but it looks like it's nickel plate. And this is probably what, 40s or 50s.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still got the penny in it, something we don't use very often nowadays. What's cool about these is they're basically just put them right over your belt, on your side or whatever you like using them.
And what would you even, you know, for me looking at it with patina as we call it, I don't know what I would even want to do with that.
Well,
you know.
one of the biggest problems with something like this is if you were to take and replate it, immediately it starts jamming everything about it. I mean, this basically just needs cleaned, and this is a piece that I wouldn't restore. The top where the pennies, nickels, quarters, and dimes are is embossed,
right?
And it's all stamped on there, and it is in great shape. I mean, what's the manufacturer in there? Can you read that there? She's a couple years younger than me. There's right here, Bradley.
Yeah, down the line it goes. Yeah.
There's nothing right there. Oh, I thought. Oh, there you go.
There's nothing there. Yeah,
There's nothing there.
You should have went to bed an hour earlier.
Novelty store, stuff like that.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
you could see these. I remember reading comic books, and they'd be in comic books. But this probably shouldn't be restored. It can be cleaned up. There's products out there that we use a lot of that can basically not hurt it and still clean it. You know, it's just dirty from life.
Well, we've got a bigger piece we want to get out here, so you have time really to look at this.
Very cool. Thank you. Thanks for showing that to me.
Isn't that great? It doesn't have the 10,000 little springs that some of them have, but yeah, we wanted you to.
Chili thinks I talk too much. Oh, look at this. This is cool. This is wood. Wow. That is a rocking horse. You guys seen one of those before? Yeah. Not wood, right? We've done a lot of rocking horses. A lot of the rocking horses were built by a craftsman that would give it to their child or their grandchild. Yep. So,
this is This,
And
this is the present day owner of this space. But you were saying you know a little of the history of it, right?
This is my great-grandfather's when he was a kid back in the 1870s, so it's probably from the 1850s to 1870s is when it was made. And it's been sitting in our closet for about 40 years.
wow. It's cool. It's very ornate. It's got like, you know, a special lever. It's very, what do I want to say? I mean, the craftsmanship compared to nowadays is incredible.
There's
I
a
mean,
lot
all
of
the-
detail on it. When you
I mean,
the more you look at it, the more there is to see on it.
Yeah, the carpet, the leather, the studs that are on it. It had a tail with fur, had hair with, you know, fur going down the mane. But every little thing on it is detailed. And I think, I mean, the horse looks like it was painted, you know, it actually looked like it was that brown. These were actually made in England. Okay, they you can sort of see the style of the horse. There was a company called Roebuck. No descendant to Sears and Roebuck that I know of, but Roebuck was out of did Australia and in England, and these were a big deal. The way see the design of how it rocks with the bar on there, to where you get into the Western theme more of the in the same era, early 1900s. That they did a rocking chair differently, and they also saddled the horse like a
Well, this is more like an English racing or post-riding horse as opposed to a fucking bronco. Or
yeah. And the design and the platform, what it allowed you to do, not to scuff your floors. It was sitting there. You know, the English, you know, were more perfect in their in everything that they did. At least if you ask them, they'll tell you that.
So considering
They're cars.
Considering we've got some on there, let's get down to brass tacks. What would you do and what would you charge?
There's a lot.
25.
Yeah, there's a lot of because this was like set in a place that was dry. Yeah, pretty dry. Because the wood's starting to come apart a little bit. It's got some hand painting to be done, and it's got a lot of detail work to be done. I can't remember. Okay. I'd probably be right around 6,500 to do the whole course. But it's got, I mean, it's like on the show, if I went into everything here, every single piece has to be pulled off and put back into the same exact spot. You got to take pictures of, you know, how it comes apart, because you could put this brass tack in the wrong area, and finding the original leather and the original underlay of this carpet that's on here.
And by the time you get the blocks that it's made out of, all the way down to the bare.
Yeah, and it's not like you can use Bondo or anything. You're trying to use exactly the same kind of wood. Otherwise, you're going to see it, and it's very, you know, it's technical. I see there's a screw that's been added to the back. This thing probably was going at one time, flew off, so they put a screw right here so that it stops. And on the front one, it's got the original tack. So on stuff that's missing, I would remanufacture, find this little itty bitty stud right here to where this back, you know, wouldn't be there anymore, where it looks all original.
When my mom was a baby, she said it threw her off the horse one time.
It came off the rocker.
I get off a rocker. Who did that? Who said that?
The one comment to the whole, yeah.
You know, a lot of people make comments about our pricing, and one of the things that you have to understand when we restore these items that quite possibly we've never done before, when we throw out a price of $6,500, that doesn't mean that's what it's going to cost. If it winds up that the cost becomes a lot lower, that's what we wind up charging. But to give a quote, you know, like this, that's why we aim a little higher this time, as opposed to losing money all the time.
But I would think getting into this with all the parts that's there, I wouldn't think that that's outrageous at
No,
all.
I think, you know, you don't. Every time you restore something, it never fails. But when we're on it, you go a little deeper, because I want to do a little better job, a little more, a little more, a little more. And it never fails. I'll end up, you know, 2 weeks longer than I should have. But when you get it done, you know, it's right. You know, that's the whole way of.
We got one last piece we got to bring out because we're running on time here. So why don't we bring
Thank
that
you.
one out?
This is a great piece. Thanks for bringing it in.
Don't let it on the plane. I flew Southwest.
All right, here we go.
Oh, cool. Bicycles, one of my favorites. When I was a kid, that's how I got my start. My first restoration was a Schwinn bicycle back when I was, 9 years old. This is what we call, well, it's almost a basket case. It looks like most everything's there.
It's a box case, yeah.
It's a box. Yeah, it's a Columbia, which Columbia is built right around here in Springfield somewhere, right?
Right here in Westfield.
Westfield,
In
the
Westfield.
town where I come from, yes.
So-
Westfield.
Yep.
Yeah, Westfield. And this is a 1954 Columbia.
Yeah.
And the Big E actually purchased this, Rick.
Who?
The Big E.
Oh, the Big E did.
Yeah, we own this. And as a little surprise to you, next year's our 100th anniversary. Everybody know that?
Oh, wow.
100th
100th anniversary.
And Noreen Tassinari, all the way over here on my left, is head of our Centennial Committee. Thank you, Noreen. She's our Director of Marketing. We bought this bike, and we were wondering if you would restore it for our 100th anniversary. What do you guys think?
I'd be honored, and I'd be loved to. 100-year anniversary?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The deal, if you restore it, you got to bring it back and present it to us here. What do you think?
Okay,
Come
hold
back
on.
next year and do it?
Yeah,
have
so
that
all you
next
guys
year.
out there got to come back, because we're going to do the unveiling of this bad boy. That's awesome.
Opening day, I'm going to expect you guys back here.
Okay.
And I expect everybody else, bring your friends. Opening day, we're going to have Rick restore it. It's got all year to do it. Right. I agree. We want a little bit of Vegas weather. So what do you think, Rick?
I'd love to. I'd love to. Columbia was like the high end of bikes. Believe me, everything they did was very, very well built. In the 50s, everybody wanted a bike, and they had to have all this ornate, this hand painting on the side. The bicycles nowadays, I mean, they're shot, they're screened, they're shot in a big factory. This is actually, a lot of this is basically hand done when they did this kind of stuff. And they were very proud as Americans of what they were doing. So when they did these badges, they were built out of brass, they're ornate, they're beautiful. These handlebars, I mean, look at the grips on
They
them.
look like the original grips.
Yeah, they are the original grips.
There's some badging on one of those wheels too. That's different. I've never seen that before.
Oh
So
yeah,
that-
this is like a license.
Oh, is that
That's
what it
a
is?
license. See where it says 54 right there?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's got a bad spoke. Got a couple of them.
No,
So
that's
where'd
why
you
we
find
get-
Oh, there goes
Where'd
the
you
prize.
find
It's got a bad spoke. Here we go.
No,
Was this
we
around here?
We found this in Connecticut.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was someone
Yeah.
had it in Connecticut and drove down, picked it up, and we were looking for something that represented Western Mass, and with Columbia being such a long,
right here.
great company here, we'd like to have something like that restored. Be honored to have it here. Big E.
Yeah, it's got some issues. Got some pedal issues, spoke issues, painted tires with pinstripe around the wheel. These tires. This is probably the hardest thing for us to find nowadays.
right?
Is tires and rims.
Wow.
The post.
Yep.
This is amazing. This is very, very cool.
It looks to be all there, and it looks to be pretty original. So.
Oh, look at this. James Allen Winston. Anybody know him?
There you go. No.
Wow.
Not
So he actually put his name on his bike.
Yeah.
That way when
He had a chain to a telephone pole.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. We appreciate you guys coming out today.
And before we finish,
we got one more guest.
Sure.
Tomorrow, these guys are going to be involved in our collector car experience show down at the Xfinity Arena. And one of our hosts of the show happens to have just shown up today, Mike Brewer. Come on out, Mike. Mike Brewer from Wheeler Dealers, everybody.
Mike.
Thank you very much, JJ. Yeah, that was great. I loved all of that. If you can make that bike worthy enough for my fat body, I'll ride it into the expedition next year.
Yeah, it's a small.
It might need a little bit more welding to get me on. That's all. It's always a pleasure to be here, JJ, and it's great to be here back in New England. And tomorrow we've got our very first annual collector car experience. It's going to be over on the Xfinity Arena. I'm going to be standing on stage with the smallest man in show business, Mr. Wayne Carini. If you was to open up a dictionary and look up car guy, there'll be a picture of him pop up. That's basically what it is. He's like a walking encyclopedia of cars. Thank God he knows so much more than me. And we're going to be on stage with cars almost from the invention of the motor car, all the way back from 1903, with very early brass cars up on stage, going all the way up to the latest cars that we got in the world, like a very late Ferrari, 458s, 355 Ferraris. So some really exciting stuff to talk about. We've got about 20 cars we're going to be bringing across. It's going to be a load of fun. We're going to be having these guys on stage actually as well in the back, so we can talk to them about if it's something that will make them excited. So if you're around tomorrow from 1 p.m, we're going to be over on the Xfinity Live stage. You look in your programs, you'll find it. Come and see me and Wayne Carini and these fine people, and have fun. So thank you.
Awesome, thanks, Mike.
And Rick, when can we catch you guys on the air?
Okay, we're you're gonna tell them.
Guidance.
You're the brains of the operation, remember? Yeah.
We actually just finished our history contract for 5 years, and we are actually up for renegotiations right now. So hopefully you'll see us at the beginning of next year.
Yeah, I love that everybody watches the show. I love that it does different things for every family. I like how it brings families and their children together again. It's very heartwarming to know that people come up and thank us for restoring history, and believe me, it's my pleasure and my honor and our honor to be able to do that for you guys, and I really appreciate you coming. I even see a really cool shirt out there, got my truck on it. Nice, thank you. Thanks for coming to Rick's. Very good, thank you very much. So I want to thank everybody for coming out. I really appreciate it, and thanks.
Come on, everybody.
Time to go eat some food.
And later on this evening, don't forget you can catch Rick and his family in the Mardi Gras parade with me. So if you're out there in the showground, you'll see us come past, I think in some kind of caddy or Lincoln convertible, and we'll be throwing stuff out. So have fun.